These are my 5 sneaky awesome games of the 2021 season that not a lot of people are talking about that I think will be amazing. Let's start off with number 5, week 3, right out of the gate, Packers, 49ers, Sunday Night Football, and it's, again, Garoppolo versus Rodgers, and with the entire 49ers team healthy, taking on a Packers team that they absolutely destroyed 2 years ago. Remember last year they played this game again, but it wasn't the same because it was Nick Mullins at quarterback and all the 49ers were injured. Now everyone's healthy, and now the Packers can face the Niners again. It was week 12, and then it was, of course, the NFC Championship game 2 years ago, where the 49ers basically took their foot, put it on the throat of the Packers defense and said, we're not letting you breathe. We're going to dominate you. I always say this joke on the show. I think Raheem Mostert just scored another touchdown against the Packers. And I mean it. He had about 500 yards and 16 touchdowns in this game.
I think Peter just made the Raheem Mostert joke again.
It's still relevant. I think week 3, these two teams going at it again. It's budding rivalry here. For whatever reason, Rodgers and the Packers just have not been able to get over the hump against the 49ers. You add in the fact that LaFleur was Shanahan's mentee, mentor. There's a little bit of mind games there. That's one of them, but it's not the only week 3 game I can't wait for. Bucs taking on the Rams earlier in that day in Los Angeles. Now, if you remember, last year these two teams played, and the Rams actually beat the Bucs in Tampa. It was a Monday night game. The Rams came out of the gates and they beat the Buccaneers. It was one of those deals where like, the Bucs, they're not for real. They're at home. They're taking on their... No, the Rams dominated them. This is the game where Jordan Fuller had 2 interceptions of Tom Brady, and we thought it was funny because 199 overall does it to 199 overall. This time the game's in Los Angeles, and I find it really interesting because Tom Brady's done a lot. He's won Super Bowls. He's been in television commercials. He's never played a game in Los Angeles. Ever.
Never played one there?
Ever.
That's crazy.
So he's played in 299 career games. He's won 230 of them. He's got 34 playoff wins. Nothing in the city of Los Angeles.
There's no team there.
No Raiders, obviously. No Chargers. No Rams. The Rams and Chargers moved over to LA a couple years ago. He's never played a road game against any of them. Goose eggs. First time Tom Brady ever going to LA, and let's see, will it be the only time next season? You know, the Super Bowl does happen to be played in Los Angeles. Let's go to the next one here. Week 16, Kyle, you mentioned it earlier on the show that the Steelers have a gauntlet. How about the Week 16 Steelers-Chiefs game, a gift from the scheduling gods? Both these teams are going to need this, whether it be for playoff implications or for seeding or for home field advantage. It'll be a true test for the Steelers. Remember last year, the Steelers had a late game against some big teams and just fell apart. Steelers were awful when it mattered most last year. I think the Steelers are going to really be tested in this one. This is where they lost on that weird game that was moved because of COVID stuff against Washington. Then they played the Bengals and you had Juju dancing on it and they lost to the Bengals on Monday night. All right, Steelers, we'll give you 1 year. If you want to say last year, all these losses late in the season, that was just whatever. It was because of a weird year and the schedule being moved a bunch of ways. All of these losses can be washed away if you beat the Chiefs. And guess what? The game's in Arrowhead. A couple years back, the Chiefs were favored. They were the home team in a playoff game. Steelers came in there with Le'Veon Bell leading the way and beat the Chiefs. All right, number 2. Let's go to the next one. How about Seahawks Packers?
Always.
Let's assume these two quarterbacks are happy and fine and playing. It's again Russell versus Rodgers. This is like the rivalry of our generation. There was Brady and Manning for so many years. These guys play in just big games year after year after year. A couple years ago, it was the playoffs where Rodgers got the best of Russell, but right now, they're tied 4-4, and the numbers are really, really strong from both of them. The home quarterback has won every single matchup of these 8 games that they've played against each other. This one's at Green Bay. You know what? Everyone's like saying Russell, he doesn't want to be in Seattle, and Aaron doesn't want to be in Green Bay. Well, guess what? They'll most likely be playing for those teams next season. At least I'd hope so. And come week 10 on CBS with Nance and Romo, 2 NFC teams. Really interesting scheduling move there. I can't wait for it.
These games are always crazy.
They're
the finishes,
crazy.
I love this game.
You got the Fail Mary, you've got the onside kick. You've got all sorts of stuff with these two teams. They're playing again, of course, this season. And last but not least, a game that no one's discussing, second to last week of the season, the Rams traveling to Baltimore for a late afternoon game on Fox.
Okay.
The worst loss in Sean McVay's career as head coach of the Rams. The worst loss, the lowest moment came 2 years ago when the Ravens came into LA
was
and
fun.
Mark Ingram with the big trust sunglasses and Lamar Jackson and Marcus Peters and all of them just absolutely manhandled the Rams. It was the biggest blowout of McVay's career as a coach of the Rams. And it was one of those games where we're like, oh my
Let's
God.
go.
I think Lamar Jackson is
Let's go.
MVP of the league.
Oh!
It was a huge blowout, and the
he
Rams
is, big
have
trust.
had that in their mouths and in that taste in their tongues ever since that game. Now you throw in the fact that it's week 17. This is the second to last week of the season. Everyone will be watching. I think both teams are going to be, if not playoff contenders, they might be sitting at the top of each conference as we get to this week.
Oh my gosh.
Look at him go. This is what
That
they
was
had.
crazy.
They were so good.
The Rams look soft.
These are my top 5 games that no one's talking about. I think each one of these games could be treated like Patriots versus Buccaneers or like Packers versus Chiefs. We've put our marketing power behind other ones. These 5, sign me up. They might as well be Super Bowls. This is so cool. I love that the schedule has so many gems like this, so many storylines. And these are 5 we're not even talking about.
Love
It's
it.
incredible. And Packers-Niners, Pete, let's not forget, Shanahan made a play for Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to get him.
Oh, yeah.
That will be part of the story.
Yep.
Sneaky awesome.
Sneaky awesome.
You're old-fashioned awesome, Peter.
Thanks.